I am not blind, and in my fear, I am not afraid of telling the world how I feel. In my country, we make so much waste. We buy and throw away, buy and throw away, buy and throw away, and yet northern countries will not share with the needy. Even when we have more than enough, we are afraid to share. We are afraid to let go some of our wealth. In Canada, we live the privileged life, with plenty of food, water, and shelter. We have watches, bicycles, computers, and television sets. The list could go on for 2 days. 2 days ago, here in Brazil, we were shocked when we spent time with some children living on the streets. This is what one child told us. I wish I was rich. And if I were, I would give all the street children food, clothes, medicines, shelter, and love and affection. If a child on the streets who has nothing is willing to share, why are we who have everything still so greedy? I can't stop thinking that these are children my own age, that it makes a tremendous difference.
Okay, thank you.
This organization's main goals, as I will point out, as follows. Our main goal is to help God's creation for unfortunate. This includes people that are hungry, sick, poor, lonely, physically sick or handicapped, or aged. In specific details, to the hungry we will give food, shelter, water, and treatment. To the sick we will give treatment. To the poor we will find them good jobs, give them food, shelter, and treatment. To the lonely and the aged, we will get the orphans to shelter and give the aged people to shelter too. For the physically sick or handicapped, we will get them treatment and shelter.
Today, after 41 years of waiting, Gurudev has given me the opportunity to serve my own people. And now I'd like to once again turn it over to Ankil to finish up the final thoughts of tonight.
Thank you, Kishore. Our goal is very simple: to help those who need and deserve it. Before I end it off, I'd like to thank a few special people. First of all, Urvash Patel, Janki Patel, Sujana Gohel, and the whole team of Om Shanti Om Trust Fund for helping us get where we are today.
We will use the money that we have to save people's life, as life is the most precious thing God has given us. Therefore, we ask of all of you, kind ladies and gentlemen, to donate to our cause.
To witness a death, knowing you could have prevented it, is a sin itself, and the memory will torment you for the rest of your life. Do you want that? So, if you want to donate, please call Om Shanti Om. We need self-discipline to control how much. We need self-discipline to control how much money we use, but this is a good cause and you should invest.
Thank you. So once again, give a round of applause for your friends and Okay, so we had our first speech, and now our second group. Which
the retrospective speech.
So the retrospective speech from welcoming our Group 2 students.
Before you start, just all introduce yourself.
I'm Ashu.
My name is Divya. And my name is Durrani. My name is Shivani.
I'd like to introduce Divya Bhatt, Shivani Joshi, and Hirani Rampadi. All these were very close friends of Martin Luther King Jr. They stood by him through thick and thin and thick, and would like to share a few words about it.
I have a dream. There are many people in this world who can be appreciated, but I'm not saying that this man was the best. This person about who I'm talking about is Martin Luther King Jr. Though he made a great impact in American history, he proved that one's color isn't important compared to what's in our soul. He believed in peaceful protest and wished to transform the country into one big nation.
Martin Luther King Jr. helped to light the path towards freedom. He traveled the world giving speeches that enlightened the people to fight for what's right. Without hesitation, he was able to put his life, as well as his friends and families, in danger to acknowledge civil rights. One example of this was when his house was destroyed by a bomb. He was fortunate to live through such a tragedy. He fought and fought until a detrimental event changed many lives forever. Though his assassination was a shame, it showed us all that segregation is unjust and needed to be put to an end.
Martin Luther King was a man of great importance. He strived to help us realize that should be equal to everyone's eyes. He rallied, protested, and fought for what should have been known to all of us in the beginning. And he showed us that we can all live together in peace and harmony as brother and sister. Without him, we'd be living in a cruel, inhumane, unjust nation that's divided.
Once again, give a round of applause to our friends who are remembering Martin Luther King in their reflection. Okay, so that was group 2, speech number 2.
All right, so for group 2, speech number 3, is the acceptance speech. So the group that did the acceptance speech.
Please give them a round of applause.
My name is Sahili, and our group's name is the Gurus. I never thought lending a hand would get me an award. Thank you very much, Mayor Jamunaji, for giving this Good Citizenship Award. First, I used to set a bad example. Now, after seeing someone do a good deed, I was inspired to change and do good deeds. I never knew one deed could transform many people. My inspiration was of everyone else who was nominated for this award. Out of all, I can't believe I got this award. I would also like to thank Gurudev to enlighten my path with his touching life lessons. I have done things like raising money for homeless and poor families around the world, and I must say it feels good. But this is nothing I want to accomplish next. I will hold a 2 to 3 year boot camp everywhere around the world to help people with medical issues and money issues too. Give them food, medicine, and help. I am going to put all of my heart and soul into it. Once again, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. No words can express my feelings right now. I am really shocked to have this opportunity to share my feelings. Thank you very much.
Once again, round of applause for group 2. acceptance speech. Okay, so it's actually very unique to see all the different types of speeches that we had. So continuing to look forward to now our fourth.
This will be the second public address. So one's commencement type of speech.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Drew. Before I start, I would first of all like to thank my friends and my respected elders. But I would especially like to thank my Gurudev. 3 years gone by just like that without notice. It feels like yesterday. I walked through these doors not knowing what to expect. And with a desire to learn. I had the fear of being bullied and not being accepted. Little did I know that those worries would end up being useless. Over the past 3 years have been a great experience, and I learned a lot of skills that I will take with me to high school and beyond. I have transformed from an immature and an inexperienced 6th grader to a mature, independent, and disciplined 8th grader. I enjoyed these past 3 years, and I will treasure the moments and I have spent in these halls with my teachers and my friends. I remember when I slipped in a puddle and everyone thought I peed in my pants. But that was the worst day of my middle school career. Everyone laughed at me. I was quite alone, and a cold feeling came over me. I felt like I had no hope. I felt a warm hand on my shoulder. I looked up and found my teacher, Mrs. Oslin. She helped me overcome this horrible tragedy. And afterward, I was quickly accepted back into the student body. My soul was enlightened about how a mentor can help a guide a student. I was swarmed by a lot of challenges, but soon overcame them. Thank you, teachers and my fellow peers, for giving me such great experiences. Goodbye, class 2010.
It's an interesting public address by our group 4, and just pointing out a few things as I'm noticing. It turns out that sometimes when you add stories or when you add just a personal touch to it, it kind of brings out the speech in a different way. So these are just some things that you can kind of just notice in other people's speeches and whatnot. So without further ado, I'd like to call up our final group from group 2, which is the welcome speech. So group 2, speech number 5. Please welcome our team.
Jai Gurudev! Welcome. I'm Kalpita Chikote. I'm Rusha Mehta. And I'm Bansri Patel. Welcome youth and adults. To the 2011 AWGP in Hawaii at Holiday Inn Hotel. For a week of fun. This is a place for learning spirituality in a fun, interactive way. We will learn self-discipline in our classes. We are here to enlighten our souls. There are also sons coming from Shantikunj. We do yoga and meditation in the morning, but we have surprises at night. There are things to look forward to every day. Some of the activities planned are the picnic and the cultural show. There are There will be delicious and mouth-watering food served for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You wonder what, huh? The youth will learn about thought transformation, global warming, and about health.
They'll also learn about the values and culture. The adults will be involved in lectures, and they will be listening to some bhajans and other types of music. Towards the end of the day, we will be doing our prayers and arti. We would like to thank you for coming to our Gayatri Pariwar 2011 camp. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Thank you. So, give a round of applause to all of our Group 2 students. Just another observation as the speeches go along. Notice that sometimes the mic or whatever it is just doesn't work your way. Things that you don't plan. So if the mic falls out, don't get nervous, right? That's the thing. Just keep going. Keep presenting. Act as if that's part of the plan, right? Just keep allowing yourself to go. And these are just some skills to help you in your, because I know some of you with all the talent that you have, will be giving, commencement speeches, will be giving welcome speeches, will be giving some sort of, maybe even, reflection speech in the future. So these are skills just to kind of take note of. And notice how your peers do that. And notice how they practice that. Okay? So now we're moving on to our Group 3 presentations. Our first speech, once again, is the public address. So please welcome for our Group 3 public address.
5 days ago, Sam Steinberg, an inspiring artist. But what is his aspiration when districts cannot afford to uphold these classes? Sam Steinberg, a student at Parsippany Hills High School, was deprived the opportunity to enhance her career when this district was put into the position of eliminating the art department. It is problems like this in several departments that are affecting students' lives. Budget cuts are the reason students are no longer able to put their heart and soul into the things they love. As superintendent of Parsippany, I feel it is my duty to inform you of the opportunities students will be deprived of in the following years. Now, let's be more specific. Language classes are being cut. This means that students will lack the ability to communicate with people globally. English is no longer omnipotent within the United States, with the immense diversity everywhere. The arts classes are being cut. This will diminish the ability and chance for students to be creative. Students will not be able to express themselves. This means they will no longer be able to achieve enlightenment. These departments are what make up a good education. And with the lack of a good education, means no chance of transforming a student into a well-rounded citizen that will be able to make a difference. Furthermore, districts are cutting experienced senior teachers. They're trading them in for the unexperienced teachers just so that they can pay them a lower salary. Not only this, teachers are being incorrectly placed. Teachers that go into college and get a good degree to teach kindergartners are being placed as honors algebra teachers in high schools, simply so that it doesn't cost as much. Students will no longer be able to have the effective learning that comes with an experienced, older, wiser teacher. A teacher that will be able to help them achieve self-discipline. Getting rid of these teachers is what will get rid of the quality of education. These changes will devastate the district's educational experiences, and these are the changes that, if they are not reversed, will have an immense effect on our community. As the citizens of Parsippany, it is we that need to step forward and make a change. It is we that need to take into consideration that this is the time to ask if we want to provide the best education for the future generations. It is we that need to work for and remember people like Sam Steinberg so they can follow their dreams and achieve greatness. Thank you.
Thank you, Team 1, for that wonderful speech. And
This motto was preached by Sri Ramacharya to change the world, one person at a time. This powerful ideology was developed over the course of many significant events of Gurudev's early life.
Gurudev was born into a Brahmin family in September 20th, 1911. And as a child, he was very devoted and religious. One of the most significant events in his early childhood was when he came upon an untouchable woman who worked in his house. She had leprosy and was very sick and ill. And despite the fact that Brahmin families should not be taking care of the untouchables, he went and visited her on a daily basis to feed her, bathe her, and care for her wounds. And it was that moment that he learned that he wanted to care for people and change the world. And even went ahead to fight for the freedom movement for India. But the pinnacle of his childhood was when he was doing a yajna at the age of 15, when Dada Gurudev came out of the fire to tell him his mission in life, which was to enlighten the world with the power and message of Gayatri. To do so, he went to the Himalayas for 24 years, doing 100,000 Gayatri jumps per year, a total of 2.4 million Gayatri Mantra jumps to attain the power of Gayatri. He was a manifestation of Gayatri Ma's power on earth. He was essentially God on earth, and he started a movement that would start a revolution.
Many objectives of his mission and movement was to reform the individual, the family and social values of mankind, and to change the current ideology and concept of morality and social structure for a better tomorrow. He spread the message of Gayatri Mata and the Gayatri Mantra in many different ways, including through his written articles and books, as well as preaching to his followers. He wrote over 3,000 books in his lifetime, the first being written in 1940. He also preached to his followers and connected to them on a spiritual level.
One of those people that he preached to and gave us a great follow was Dr. Said, who had really became a close disciple after his marriage to Gurudev's daughter, D.S.V.V. And another example of this followers that he attained were the saints that have visited us here from Shantikunj, who have also spread the message of Gurudev to millions of followers. And now they have developed a worldwide parivar, a family of followers, to spread the message of Gayatri, which was Gurudev's mission. And now they've developed a university that is teaching people with self-discipline and mixing spirituality with knowledge. They have developed a research institute for scientific spirituality. They have national camps in the USA to preach to youth and to get a new generation of followers. They even have new temples in Chicago and New Jersey to continue to gain followers. And we here are sitting as evidence of this great sage's life and the success of his mission. Thank you.
thank you. Group number 2 from our third group. And just reflections and more of observation is that you notice that sometimes when you practice, and you continue to practice, any speech that you give, or prepared speech, the more you practice, the less you have to rely on the notes that you have in front of you. Obviously you can use the notes, but it has a different feel to it when it goes from reading to just presenting. So think about that when in your future practice. And you don't have to get it perfect today. This is meant more as a practice, more as a learning experience. So continue to use some of these techniques, some of these observations that you can enhance your own speaking abilities. Okay. So our group 3, third speech, which is
the acceptance speech.
The acceptance speech. So please welcome our representative for the
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We would now like to present the very prestigious Golden Apple Award for Excellence in Teaching. This honor is given to an educator who is inspirational, dedicated, and passionate about teaching. And our next recipient is definitely possesses all of these qualities. So it's my honor to welcome Ms. Durva Thurvi.
Thank you, Riti. Too often in life, when we achieve success, we forget to thank those who helped us become who we are. Today, I have been given a golden opportunity, and I would like to take it to thank from the bottom of my heart and soul my students, my teachers, my family, friends, and the Board of Education. Thank you to you all, and D.S.V.V. I say D.S.V.V. because my inspiration to teach came at a very early age from a man who was my teacher and so much more. Pandit Sriram Sharma Acharya, known to many as Gundir, taught millions of people. His students were many, but he had faith in every one of us. I was fortunate enough to have the honor of following a spiritual guru who instilled in me a confidence in myself, both as a student and as a teacher. He didn't teach me algebra, but he did teach me self-discipline, which guided me to the path that I am on today. My biggest gratification has been to watch my students transform, learn, and grow into individuals who I know will make a difference in our world. My dear students, if I can give you advice today, I would like to make a suggestion. My Guru's message to me is my advice to you today. He enlightened me by saying, don't settle for good when you can be great. And I know that every one of you has the potential to be absolutely great. Henry Brooks Adams once said, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. My biggest dream fulfilled is to be an educator for life, not only in the classroom, but in every walk of life. I want to thank you today for bestowing this award upon me, and by doing so, making me a role model. Being a role model is a responsibility that I accept with pride, because as a science teacher, I know that the reaction to my actions and to my words is influential. And to you today, I would like to make a pledge. I pledge my wholehearted efforts to continue to make my influence a positive one. Thank you.
Let's get a round of applause for our third group, which was the second speech. And another observation for just that type of speech or in general is that you notice the power of the pause. And I know Professor Bhatnagarji and even Dr. Senin, when they speak, they do that very well. Whether they know it or not, they just have this power of pausing. It gives us a time to reflect. It gives us, not even for the speaker, but for the audience. It gives you, or it gives the audience, a time to just process what everything is being said. So that's another technique, an effective technique to use, and also in your presentation skills, in your speaking abilities, to use that power of the pause, and not to just try to get as many words in as short time as possible. Okay. So our fourth group now we'd like to welcome, and that is, I'm trying to remember,
the public address.
The public address. So please welcome our team number 4 for group 3.
Congratulations, class of 2010. We finally made it. Thank you. Spider-Man once said, with great power comes great responsibility. Today, we are empowered by our knowledge and experiences. Now, we are ready to take on the new world, and we're ready to take on the new world ahead of us. However, I speak for all of us when I say college consisted of many challenges. Pulling all-nighters at the library, Trying to fit in and keeping up with the competition was only the beginning. First day of class, I vividly remember walking into my chemistry class of 500 faces that I had never seen before. Perspiring through my cotton shirt, I felt as if I did not belong here at Harvard University. But in these 4 years, we have transformed from anxious, immature kids to self-disciplined adults. College was a challenge primarily because there was no one to control us, and I had to make all my decisions by myself. At first, it was exciting. It was exciting to experience the newfound freedom, which definitely came with great responsibilities. Our experiences shape who we are, and ultimately help us decide our path. My professor once said, "Life is a piece of clay. You can mold it into any shape using your hands, yet it will be the most beautiful piece of art you've ever created." As a result, we have become enlightened individuals who can face any challenge that comes our way. 4 years ago, we were like a blank canvas, waiting for Harvard's paint to brush to sketch our future. Now, we are the paintbrush ready to draw on the world. Thank you.
Once again, round of applause for team number 4 and team 3. One observation is that, it's when you can relate to the audience and how they are and what they're feeling and what their emotions are, it makes it much more an effective speech as opposed to you just giving your own thoughts and whatnot. So, you try to understand the process or the energy or the feeling of people in the room, and if you can really relate that or to connect with that, it makes it a much more powerful speech. Okay? And our final team for today, last but not least, our team number 5 for group 3. So please welcome our team number 5.
Good evening, friends, families, and respective elders. We the youth would like to take the opportunity to welcome you all to the annual Gayatri Pariwar Youth Camp 2025. It's great to see all these enthusiastic youth around us who travel a long distance to enlighten this experience. We know you all must have traveled a long distance with the soul in an unwavering faith in our Guru. Gurudev thought his life is in the faith of a youth. A youth is the heart of the family, society, and Sanskriti. A youth is necessary for the culture and the religions to survive and to be carried on. A true yuva is not defined just by the age from 11 to 25, but is defined by thoughts, the level of his thoughts, by his outlooks towards the life, his qualities, his positions, his brain characters, his discipline, and the purpose of his leading life ahead. A yuva is not just a student, but a student who learns throughout his life and gets his goal towards the life ahead.
The mission of the Gayatri Pariwar is rooted in thought transformation, also known as the Chart Kranti Abhiyan, as we are surrounded by many challenges such as peer pressure, lack of harmony amongst religions, inadequate education, and many more. We, the youth, have decided to change the history by being the first generation youth in North America to convey spiritual awareness. Unfortunately, Dr. Saib is unable to attend this year's camp, but his heart and soul will constantly be with us. We, the youth, will seize the opportunity to purify our soul, through thought transformation and self-discipline, and spread Guru's ideas. This is our vision and our promise. We thank you for coming out and joining us, and let's make the coming days most memorable.
anytime someone speaks or gives a presentation, is you guys, is the audience. You know, you can really, make or break a presentation as well, just by your enthusiasm, your reaction. And one thing that I've learned in the past is that, keep clapping until the person gets up here. You're really just, because what it does for the person coming up here is it really just energizes them too, And as you're clapping and as they're walking up, that's why I keep reminding them, keep clapping, because it just keeps the energy in the room. And when you do so, it makes it, I don't know about you, but when somebody is clapping, cheering in a sports event or any activity, you get energized, or at least I feel energized. So in the same way, when someone comes up to you to speak, which is a very unnerving thing, I'm just giving some time to the judges to tally up their votes as well. But at the same time, it allows, it really just energizes us. When you can support somebody coming up here. So that's why whenever, if someone especially, in this type of atmosphere, you call up somebody, don't just give a very simple 2 clap or 1, 2, 3 or little golf clap, right? You want to really just go through it and keep clapping, keep bringing the energy up until they get up here, and and of course be appropriate. You don't want to kind of do too many, go overboard, but take it to your own discretion and try that, because it really does help support the people coming up here. And do you need more time to this, or we can continue? Yeah, you can come to a conclusion at your own. So, but nevertheless, but one thing that really helped me, in terms of my speaking development, just a personal story, is that I would never, ever, at your age, I would never have come up here when I was your age, to be honest. I would have avoided it to my best of ability. And simply, the reason being is that I hated, I can talk to you one-on-one, but I hated talking in front of people. It was just a fear that I had. And if you don't know the statistic or this idea, is that most people, when you ask them, what are you more fearful of? They would say that if you're more fearful of death or fearful of public speaking. And they say, you know what the answer is for most people? Public speaking. It's more terrible than dying. We had our grotesque examples of death and destruction yesterday, so you saw how that was very easy to talk about. But speaking about something else is very fearful. So the reason why it's fearful, and just to get an idea of that, is that why do you think it's fearful? Just to get an example, why do you think people are fearful of being in front of the mic or addressing people? Yes, just shout. Okay, so it's that idea of acceptance. You don't know how people are going to react to you, how people are going to accept your speech. Yes? Okay, so yeah, you definitely almost have this anxiety attack. Okay. I don't know about Harshil or anybody else who comes here to moderate, but I get fearful, even just coming up for this little walk. There's just always this fear that always is there as to what am I going to say, what am I going to present. But then what really helps is practice. And one of the world champions of public speaking, and you may or may not know him, his name is Darren LaCroix. And he has this phrase, and he calls it stage time, stage time, stage time. The more you get stage time, the more you present in front of people, the more comfortable you'll be, and the more you're able to suppress that little fear. Even this little fear of just walking this area. For me, it kind of bubbles up a little bit, and then I just realize, you know what? Take a deep breath and just relax, and you get over it. I'm sure some of you felt that way. How many of you, whoever spoke, how many of you felt nervous getting up to the podium, or walking up to the podium? Okay? So it feels a little nervous, and it's natural, so not to worry about it. If you feel nervous, if you feel, what am I going to say, or am I going to be okay? Don't worry about it. It's natural. It's a natural feeling, and the only best way, or the real way to really overcome it is through practice. And that's why I was suggesting for most of you, when you're practicing your speeches, to just keep speaking in front of your group. They'll give you suggestions. They'll tell you, what you did well, what you can improve on. And I recommend anytime you have a big speech coming up, whether it be a commencement address, whether it be some sort of reflection speech or public address, speak in front of people, in front of your family, in front of anyone who will listen, your dog, your cat, your TV, your imaginary friend. Speak in front of anybody. Just let it out. Let it be out there. And you'll notice where you went wrong, or where that is. And one technique that really helped me is to record yourself. And I'm being recorded right now. And I'm terrified of listening to myself speak on video, because I know I don't do that well. And when I do listen to it, I'm so critical of myself. I could have done that better. I could have said that word. I could have improvised here. I could have used this gesture. But listen to yourself. If you have MP3 players or recording devices, place them right here, or even a video camera. Get them recorded. Notice how you speak. Notice how you talk. Notice your trends. Sometimes I'll notice that in my own speaking that I say the word but or or and I use the word and a lot. And this, and that, and this. It's just my way of kind of putting that filler word. Other people use the word like, and we all know the episode we're talking about, How I Met Your Mother, if you like that show. And it comes up, you find it just comes out naturally. So this thing on video, you'll record it, you'll see it in audio. If you listen to it, you'll find out all the things, all the little things. Obviously, you need to know the content. Obviously, you need to know all the things about the topic that you're speaking about. But little things add to your presentation. Little things add to it. And the first group that walked up, I like the idea of the little props that they use. They made the little hats, the narrow hats, right? So these things you can add to your presentation, even though if you are not sure what to speak about, or you want to present your message in a certain way, you can add to it without even just without even words. You can do it with the pause. You can do it with a prop. You can do it with hand gestures. You can do it with facial expressions. You can even do it by the tone of your voice, right? So you may notice in the yoga when I try to teach, sometimes I'll say, all right, jump up really fast and try to get the energy up. Sometimes I'll be very slow, very relaxed, and you can just see how that affects you as a student, as a person. And as a presenter, that's a very effective tool. So I don't know if you guys are finished. You're very close. I'll take maybe a few more minutes to just wrap up, or 30 seconds to wrap up. But those are just some tips and just some ways. But the main aspect of it is to simply practice, and to speak in front of people as much as you can. Use that stage time, wherever it is, wherever you are, and you'll improve gradually. It took me 15 years to improve to where, and I'm still not perfect. I still stutter sometimes, and I still have my mistakes, but it took me 15 years to really get to where I need to go. Yes. Also, a good question Barka brought up is, how many of you like this activity? How many of you like this activity? Raise your hand. How many of you thought that this was not necessary? Be honest. You can be honest. Okay? How many of you Okay, for those of you who didn't like it, then how many of you would like to give suggestions on that? So if you do, please come to any of us and just give suggestions as to how we can improve it. Because this is our first time doing it, and we can always improve, right? Just like speaking abilities, also organizing abilities, we can also improve as well. So do let us know, okay? So I'd like to welcome Dr. Senan, who would like to give just some ideas on delivery. Some more tips from a seasoned professional. So please welcome Dr. Senan.
I have a few stray ideas that occur to me when I stand to speak before you and recall the first day that I addressed my school on the 15th of August, 1965. I was 14 years. My lips were parched dry and I was trembling. My hands were cold and clammy and face blanched. That was the only day that I was nervous when I got to speak. For that was the only day that I had very severely, like a parrot, a ratu tota, rattled a speech. And I realized it went off well. The entire school clapped, but I flapped and realized that was not the best to do. Whatever you need to say and to convince people, you deliver a speech to convince people, to tell them that you are right. It is not an interactive session. So you ask them, what do you say about it? So before you can convince people, spend 1 minute, if you have 20 minutes to prepare a speech, spend the first 1 minute to convince yourself about what you are about to convince others. And start believing in what you are about to say. Close your eyes and imagine this is what is the truth and I'm going to say it. Before you say it, I'm going to feel it. So the head, that is the mind, tells you what to speak. Because you're convinced, your heart gives you all the reasons to feel so, because you believe in it. So you must believe in what you are getting up to say. If you are thanking the people for an award, then be thankful. Be grateful from your head, heart, and your speech, your expressions. But if you're only hurling a thanks, it doesn't work. So it has to be your believing in what you're saying. That's the most important thing. There are two more things I want to share with you. It is believed we, the human beings, the Homo sapiens of today, have the ability to speak. And maybe the birds have the ability to not speak but to squeak. God knows. They also do communicate very well, I'm sure. Ants do communicate. So do whales and fishes, lions and dogs. They have their own way of communication. We don't understand and we feel great that we speak better. Maybe, may not be. However, we are one species of life form which has two abilities. One is exclusive to us, and that is to smile and laugh. Have you seen a dog laugh? Or a cow or a buffalo? We can and we do. And hence, if it is appropriate, we must have a smile on our face. We should be welcoming to address the people that we want to greet and to convince. And if possible, share a moment of laughing together. But if the moment and the subject that you want to share is serious, and it can bring you down to tears, no harm looking really very serious about it, because you mean it and you feel it. But there are some of the mammals who can roll down their tears, you know that. Have you ever seen any animal crying, weeping? Yes, which one is that? but for us. You can see camels, dogs, mammals, buffaloes, cows, rolling down their tubes. So emotional expression is something which is largely exclusive to the mammals, and we probably are the best creation amongst the mammals. So we speak and we do not have that element of emotion within us, then it is a flat soft drink. Cola, which is flat, and it has no great fun. So remember, you live in the emotions of what you say, you believe in what you want to convey, and speak from your head, and express from your heart. Thank you. Needless to say, but I think it is highly required to say, that on behalf of the judges, I find the people at your age to be performing very well. You all really deserve a big applause. And in this country, what makes a person reach the White House, besides many more things of funding and strategies and presentation and dress and attire and satire, is what? Your strength of public delivery. And as you acquire this more and more, remember it is you people who are heading to govern the nation that you are from, with the strength and ability of communication. Gurudev bless you. Jai Gurudev.
Alright, so Group 2, you guys did a fantastic job. You guys were keeping right on par with the Group 3 kids, and sometimes, in some cases, you delivered speeches that were, stronger than anything I've ever seen from, kids even older than myself. So, a fantastic job that you guys did, and I personally just applaud you. The judges deliberated, and they took just a Group 2 kids, and of the 5 categories that you guys went through, they had to come up with a ranking, and for 3rd place, we have Group 3. So, big round of applause for Team 3. For 2nd place, we had Team 4. That was and the team that took the 1st position was Team 1. Okay, all right. We'll have them stand. So if Team 3 can actually stand up, Team 3, this was the team that took the 3rd position. Team 3, stand up wherever you guys are. Big round of applause for them. And then Team 4. Team 4 was the guys that came second. And then finally, we got Team 1. Team 1 that took 3rd place. Keep a close eye on these guys. Please see someone else might be ranking them.
Thank you, Rachel, for announcing the Group 2 winners and results. And Group 3, now we come to you guys. And you guys also put in a lot of great effort, and I really thought it was amazing just because, I feel we'd be in a tough position to be as a judge because it was so, all of them were, one after another, had their own strengths, had their own things that you highlighted well. And for our results, the team that came into 3rd place was team number 5. 5, please just kind of stand up and the team that came in second place was team number 3. And the winner for our group 3 is team number 2. So, one final round of applause to every single team. All of you have lots of courage and lots of creativity. So I hope you enjoy this activity. And actually, one round of applause, one big round of applause for our judges. So, So we have a bit of a snack time, so to speak, some snack time and a break until 5:15. So 5:15, I want you to see, okay, so group 2, please, you can make your way first to snacks. Slowly, it's about 4:45, so we have about half an hour.